One beautiful reef tank, looking very stunning, everything very healthy, thanks to my YouTubers. Wow, it's the 12th of December and we are back with our weekend update. David Meadows, yeah, you spotted that I didn't have my Yorkshire tea on quite a few of the videos, so it's back. If you're watching Yorkshire tea, yeah, you can sponsor Jay's Real Reef if you really want to. I'd love that. Or Betty's Tea Rooms, either or, I'm easy. I love a cup of tea and I love a nice cake. So, in fact, speaking of cakes, the mince pie is out. And also the Christmas tree is up. I hope you're liking the little reefing Christmas tree, getting you in the spirit on this build up to Christmas. It's not the 12 days of Christmas, but it's the 12th of December. So we're going to give you an update on the parameters. I've spent all morning testing the water. I'll go with my favourite Hannah checkers, my top 3 Hannah checkers here, which I've used this morning. At number 3 is the Hannah Phosphate Ultra Low Checker. It is really good, really simple to use, and the only thing it's in number 3 is because I don't like my phosphate readings, so I'm going to try and tackle my phosphates today and reduce the ppm of those. But in number 3 is my phosphate reader. In number 2, the Hannah checker that I use the most for my testing processes is the, I've got upside down there, the Hannah Salinity Checker. It's great for testing the water temperature and the salinity when you're mixing your salt and when you're not, when you just want to test your tank. Really quick, really easy. That is in second place for my water testing. In first place, which I've used every single day, is the Hannah Alkalinity Checker DKH. As you know, in my previous video, if you haven't seen it, check it out. I was testing, or I was actually dosing, I started to dose alkalinity from Red Sea into the tank because we had a bit of an alkalinity drop in the tank. So I started dosing it. You guys on YouTube were commenting, why are you dosing for 1 coral? What I'm doing is I'm dosing based on testing. So I regularly test the water. If the tests are showing low levels of anything, calcium, magnesium, alkalinity, whatever it might be, I will dose even if I've only got 1 coral. And obviously my alkalinity rose to 9.6 in the previous video, DKH. So that was a little bit high. I've turned the doser off at the moment. It hasn't been dosing for about 2 days now, so the dose is off. So let's have a little look at today's parameters, the 12th of December. I've spent all morning just running these tests. So this is what the tank is running at the moment. So the temperature is 25.6. That's risen slightly. Outside temperature's gone up a bit today. I think it's about 10 degrees. It's a nice winter's day, mild. pH is at 8.11. You didn't come here for the weather, did you? Ammonia is 0. It's just 0. No ammonia, no nitrite. Nitrates are rising slightly at 0.47 ppm, but well below the 2 level. Phosphate, this is my problem here. Phosphate is 0.12. It is a new tank. Obviously, I'm feeding the livestock at the moment. Frozen food in particular might be causing that problem, so phosphates are rising. We're going to try and sort out the phosphates on this video today, so bear with us there and see if we can get that one fixed. Alkalinity is dropping nicely now. I want it to between 8.5 and 9. It's 9.1 DKH. Calcium is slightly elevated at 487. Magnesium is at 1400. Salinity is 1.024, and TDS of the water that I'm using from Spotless Water is at 2. So the parameters are looking super healthy. There's the mince pie, close up of the mince pie there, and the reefing tree that we've put up for you and for my little boy. He loves the reefing tree up as well. So that's where the parameters are. So what we're going to do about the phosphate, well, a couple of people again in the comments, you guys, honestly, this is why we love YouTube, because you guys, you know, I'm a novice, I'm an absolute beginner, I'm just trying my best, and your comments, I listen and read and respond to every single one of them, or I try to. And a number of people said, because it's a new tank, you need to start dosing a little bit of Roaphos in the final chamber, the return chamber here. So I've purchased some Roaphos. It does say it's to target new tanks somewhere on the wrap. Yeah, helps with silica. Anyway, it helps with new tanks. So we're going to put some Roaphos in the return chamber, and I've also got a few little bags to put it in, because I've only got a little Red Sea Max Nano. I haven't got a reactor or anything special like that. Maybe one day when we hit the big league and we get a big tank with an under sump, possibly. I don't know if I'm allowed. Who knows? But anyway, I've bought some little aquarium media bags, so I'm going to drop in some of the Rowaphos into there and then into the chamber at the back. So that's the plan. Right, let's get on with the Rowaphos. So this is how I'm going to tackle my phosphate problem. Obviously I've been feeding frozen. I've been a bit over generous, I think, for just spoiling my little clowns. You can see them in the corner over there actually. And it's also a new tank, so it says should be used when setting up a new tank or new aquarium to avoid phosphate building up in the rocks and the gravel. Obviously mine is starting to build up at 0.12. So what I'm going to do is dose the Rowaphos. I'm going to use the Rowaphos calculator, which is a website. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm just going to plug the parameters in for my Red Sea Max Nano. So it is, let's just dose it in litres. There we go. So we have a 75 litre nano and my phosphates are 0.12, and I would love them to be as low as possible. Let's just say 0.02. Okay, so now it's telling me that I need to dose 1 tablespoon or 12 mils of the Rowaphos, keeping it wet from the container, and it says there at the bottom, because I don't have a reactor, multiply the recommended amount by a factor of 2 if you intend to use a bag rather than a reactor. So I am going to use the bag. Here is my media bag. I've got it here. I don't know if it came with one or not. It might do, I'm not sure. So what do we got there? We've got a set of instructions and then the lid. And then here is the Rowaphos. It looks like fish eggs actually. It looks like caviar or crushed up coal, but it looks quite moist in there. So we're going to do 2 tablespoons. In fact, I'm going to go 1.5. I'm not going to put the 2 full ones in there. So we've got a tablespoon here, and we're going to dig deep. And there's 1. We'll grab a little bit more. Let's go for 1.5, and then if it's not enough I can put more in, and if it's a bit too efficient I'll just take some out. So I'll just keep testing the water every few days and see where we get to. So the Rowaphos in the media bag. I'm just gonna tighten it up. That's just a spoon dropping off there. Just gonna tidy this up. Oh, next door's dogs are going mad as well. So we're going out for a walk. So we'll just tie up the Rowaphos, and what we're going to do is we're going to drop this into the final chamber, the return chamber of the nano. And whenever I'm starting to dose anything, I'm going to just keep an eye out on the levels, and that will inform if I need to dose any more or not, as the case may be. So that's sat in the final chamber. It's quite high flow there, which is good, and that should help to reduce our phosphate levels. So it's in. So when I switched off the last little bit of video, I made sure that I pushed the Rowaphos bag much lower into the sump, so it's sitting about here now, right next to the return pump where it's going to get maximum flow, hopefully get some movement of the Rowaphos and some reaction, and then that'll drop my phosphate levels a little bit lower, fingers crossed. I'm going to be testing phosphate every 2 or 3 days, and then that'll inform me whether I add more Rowaphos, you know, if the numbers remain high, or if I take some out if it starts to drop to a low level, which is what I'm hoping for, because the last thing I want in my new tank is lots of algae and an algal bloom, so I don't want it really messing up the progress so far. So the Rowaphos is in. I'll be keeping a really close eye on that. Anyway, I need to give you an update on the livestock. Now the next part of this video is a little bit upsetting, and it came as a little bit shock to us. What I'm talking about here is the Pom Pom crab. Let's take a look. So just a little update on the Pom Pom crab. It's 7 AM, so I'm having to talk really quietly because my family is still in bed. The lights have only just come on, and I can see him on the sandbed here. Now he looks dead, unfortunately, but I'm just gonna put this tube in and see if what he does. No. So unfortunately He's there, bless him. So he's our first fatality in the tank. So I'm going to get him out. I'm really sad about that. You don't want any livestock to die, do you? So if you can think, let me know what could have caused that. The fish, fine. The coral is beautiful. All the rest of the cleanup crew have been good. But unfortunately this little guy has not made it. So we'll get him out and remove him from the tank. So at least it's confirmed something that I didn't know yesterday. Everybody who's watching this video are lovers of marine life, and that's why you've got reef tanks. So it's a bit upsetting when one of your livestock passes away. And the Pom Pom crab, unfortunately, he turned up on Friday! On Friday, when I was feeding frozen, he resurrected. He came back from the dead. And check out the next bit of this video where you'll see our beautiful Pom Pom crab feeding off the frozen. So the Pom Pom crab has just come out for the first time onto the rockwork. He is just in front of my finger. If I move the camera a bit closer, he might dash off, but he's there. How beautiful is he? What do you think of the Pom Pom crab?
That's cool because we haven't really seen it for that long.
We haven't seen him, and he's going back down into that cave network there. He's just, you see him on the ledge?
Yeah.
How cool is that? I don't think the fish have seen him. Also, if you can see straight through the gap, that's where the blood red shrimp is.
Yeah, I just saw it.
You saw the shrimp as well?
Mhm.
And back he goes. The crab has gone back. So after, this is nearly 2 weeks of putting the Pom Pom crab and all the livestock into the tank, it's taken 2 weeks to spot the Pom Pom crab. But these guys are the stars of the show. I absolutely love Alex and Steve, don't we?
Yeah.
They cannot be separated. They're always rubbing up against each other. I'd like to say they're camera shy, but clearly not. And they've had the tea, but yeah. The lesser spotted Pom Pom is in the cave, and the fish, I haven't even seen him come out. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful to see, and my son came dashing in as soon as he heard me talking about the Pom Pom crab, because obviously we all thought he'd gone, but he's back. So I don't even know what happened there. I'm guessing, and I didn't even know this, that Pom Pom crabs actually lose their shells over time, and the shell is what I rescued from the tank on the Thursday morning, and then on the Friday he made his appearance. He's actually living in what I call Lover's Arch. So it looks like, I don't know if you can see this very well, let me put the whites on, but it looks like a love heart towards the back. I don't know if you can see it if you're looking straight through the back. Looks a bit like a little love heart, and that's where he's living, down there. He's been hiding for all this time. He's very elusive. I haven't even seen him today actually, so I don't know where he is today. But he's down in Lover's Arch, which looks like a little love heart down there. Don't know if you can see that. That's where he is. Anyway, let me give you a little update on all the other livestock. So you probably know that I bought all my livestock from Stella Marine. Absolutely brilliant shop in Stoke-on-Trent. One of the most beautiful pieces that I managed to buy was my green torch coral, which is just here. I've actually started to use a little bit of food for my only coral at the moment. So I'm using a little bit of the Red Sea AB+, and I've dosed 1/2 ml this morning, and he's really perked up. Bright green, extended all the polyp arms, and he's looking absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to dose a little bit of coral nutrition each day, just using the little pipette and dropping the little pipette onto the mouths of the coral, turning the skimmer off and the wave maker, letting it just absorb in there. but I've only used it once, directly fed it to the coral, and I can see today already we've got polyp extension and the colour is a little bit sharper and greener. You won't be getting that on the camera unfortunately, but it really is. So let's have a little look at our other livestock. These are the stars of the show for me. Steve and Alex. They always come to the glass, tempting me to feed them. In fact, I will give them a little bit of food. Let me just turn the skimmer off and the wave maker. These guys are absolutely incredible. They've bonded really, really well. They spend all day together. They rub up against each other all the time, and then a little bit of twitching. They sleep with each other at night, right next to each other. They absolutely adore each other, and I'm so happy I've got these pair of clowns. They are super healthy. So I do feed them frozen on occasion. I do feed them frozen food, but they tend to quite like the frozen. I think the shrimp loves the frozen, and Bob the crab also loves the frozen, but these guys seem to enjoy the probiotics pellets, the small pellets. These guys love this. So I'm just going to drop a tiny bit into the feeding ring up here, and then the stars of the show will make an appearance. There they are. Let me just put the, oops, that's just me unclipping from the stand. I'll put the whites back on. There we go. So from the top down you can see how clear it is. There's the torch coral. This is going to be a zoa rock eventually, so the torch coral won't stay there, but that's where it is for the time being. My conch snail, Carl the conch, he's been doing laps of the tank actually. He's been super active in the last 2 days. He spent about 3 days just in one place at one point, but he is super active. I don't know where he's got to at the moment. Where has he got to? I don't know. Oh, he's there. So he's just behind the reefing tree. He's down here hoovering away. There he is. He's done a wonderful job of the sandbed actually. I've only got one, but he's been super busy hoovering up all any dead frozen. I've got some snails that like to have a bit of a party in there. Don't know if you're getting those on camera. They're just about, there's a bit of reflection, sorry, from the Christmas tree. Let me just move that. They're about here. The shrimp at the back is in his cave again. I can see him, so he's out and about. A couple of snails are buried in, so there's one just down here. I've got 5 snails in total. That includes the conch, so I've got 4 littler snails, and they're doing a wonderful job just cleaning up the tank. And the shrimp, our blood red shrimp, he lives right at the back unfortunately. He's made a little embankment up here, and he comes out and he kind of propagates it and just builds it back up again every time someone walks past, like the conch who disrupt it. But everything is looking super healthy, and the livestock from Cellar Marine is absolutely fantastic. Those guys at Cellar Marine, Lee in particular, super knowledgeable, helped me out because I was a first time reefer. Give me all the advice about what to do with my livestock. The livestock has been super healthy, it's adapted straight to the tank, so you must check out Cellar Marine. Go and visit Lee at Cellar Marine in Stoke-on-Trent. You will not regret it, especially at Christmas. It is the reefing superstore, and the livestock, every bit of livestock that I've got from there has been active, healthy, and in the Pom Pom crab case, somewhat elusive for a few days, but he is in there and he is looking super healthy as well. So I'm very excited with my livestock, and the journey continues. I am going to head over to Cellar Marine over in the Christmas holidays. Not sure what I'm going to get yet. I might get another coral, and maybe another fish, possibly another fish, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Anyway, you can help me out. What should I get next? In the comments, just write down in the comments what I should get next. Maybe what coral I should get next, or maybe what fish, or possibly both, because when I went last time I ended up buying loads of stuff, as you know, so maybe I'll get a few things next time. Anyway, we're nearly at 500 subscribers. Thank you to every one of you who watch these videos and subscribe already. We are going to do a 500 subscriber giveaway. Please can we give this free Hannah checker away before Christmas? It would be a good present for one of our reefers who watch this video, okay? If you've already subscribed, you're already in the prize draw, so don't worry about that. But if you want to get your hands on one Hannah checker of your choice, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you can be in our next prize draw. That's it, guys. That brings us to the end of the update on Jay's Real Reef UK. Hope you've enjoyed watching the video. If you have, give us a thumbs up. It's lovely to see you all, and wishing your family well and wishing all your friends well. You take care, and I'll see you next when we hit 500 subs. Bye bye.